Hi everyone, this episode of the Doing Your Own podcast took place at our home away from home, the Wrestling Guy store in Huntington Park, California. Big thanks to David for letting us use his store. My guest today is pro wrestler Jake Atlas. I hope you enjoyed this episode. Please comment, subscribe, and smack that like button. Now without further ado, let's get into the podcast.
Work it, make it, do it, makes us older, better, faster, stronger.
That don't kill me, can only make me stronger. I need you to hurry up now, cause I can't wait much longer. I know I got to be right now, cause I can't get much stronger. Man, I've been waiting all night.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of this Doing Your Own podcast, and today I have a very special guest. It's Jake Atlas.
Alright, what's up guys? A pleasure to be here.
Once again, thank you for being on my podcast.
Thank you
today.
Hannah, thank you for having me. So this will be fun.
Okay, so let's start it off. Where are you from?
I am from a city kind of near here, kind of not, El Monte, California. So it's like near Pico Rivera. I grew up in that area. It's kind of near like Pasadena. So born and raised in LA, basically. So.
Were you a fan of wrestling growing up?
Oh, absolutely. I started watching it. How old are you?
I am 10.
You're 10. When did you start watching it?
About a couple years, about 2 or 3 years ago.
Okay, so I was about the same age. I was like 7. I was 7 when I started watching it. I watched it when I was little too, but I watched Lucha Libre, like Blue Demon, El Santo, and stuff like that. But yeah, I've been a fan of it my whole life.
Me too. I first kind of started watching it from my dad. Well, he turned on once to watch some past of WrestleManias.
Okay.
And I kind of started watching it from there.
What's one of your earliest memories? Sorry, I'm going to ask you a question.
It's okay. It's my earliest memories. I remember my dad, he first put it on. My first memory was when, I think when Bret Hart came back.
Okay, cool. Yeah, he did that whole storyline and stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. Bret Hart's great.
Yeah, so that's kind of
where it was. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, so who were some of your favorite wrestlers growing up?
Oh man, Eddie Guerrero is definitely my top number one. There's something about Eddie that I loved. It was him being Latino, him, representing my culture, and something that I loved a lot. Just resonated with me. There was a lot of things that he went through in his personal life that really stood out, and I really felt his promos. So Eddie Guerrero is definitely one of them. I know AJ Styles is currently a superstar in WWE, but I don't know if you know that, but he was in TNA a long time ago, and I watched him back when he was in TNA, and he was one of my favorites, definitely watching back in the day. The Hardy Boys were some of my favorites as well. Obviously, you're familiar with my style. I like to fly, so seeing them fly all around the ring was something I really looked up to. So that's just to name a few. I mean, Triple H was great. Shawn Michaels, definitely my favorites. So, yeah.
I like the more indies, like the Bullet Club.
Right, okay, cool, yeah. I didn't get into indie wrestling more until later on when I was older,
Yeah,
so.
me too.
Yeah.
Some of my first indie shows that I watched were EWF, and that's where I kind of first started watching you wrestle.
Okay, oh, nice. What, back maybe when I was tagging with Tyree a little bit, right? Yeah. Yeah, those were a lot of fun.
So, what were some of your favorite matches to watch as a kid?
Okay. One of my all-time favorite for sure is Kurt Angle and Eddie Guerrero at WrestleMania 20. There's something about that match. If you ever get a chance to rewatch it, everything okay? Yeah. If you ever get a chance to rewatch it, I just love how natural it was and how it flowed at Madison Square Garden. I think that is definitely one of my favorites. obviously Eddie Guerrero was my favorite wrestler, and Kurt Angle's great too. There's a triple threat match in TNA that I liked that involved Christopher Daniels, AJ Styles, and Samoa Joe, which was all high flying, action packed. That's just name a few that I watched growing up that I really enjoyed.
Okay. So what made you? I'm sorry. What made you want to become a pro wrestler?
Loving it, just like you do, my whole life. I loved how I felt when I watched it, and when I do still watch it. I loved how I felt. I liked having people that I can relate to and people that I can kind of live through. I remember I would go to school and I would wear the shirts and I'd be like, this is me. This is what I want to do. This is how I want to be. And I did sports growing up, so I liked the athletics part of it. So I liked how athletic it was, how they really worked hard, and it was something cool. To me, it was something cool. You're like a superhero, and that's something that I wanted to do.
That's kind of like me too.
Yeah.
Sometimes, like we have a dress code at my school, but most kids didn't really dress right. And me, if I wasn't wearing the uniform, I would usually wear wrestling shirts.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go. That makes you makes you stand out, right?
Usually, like I always had my Shinsuke Nakamura shirt that I would wear. That was like
Right.
It always come back to that one that I would wear.
He's great. Shinsuke's
Yeah,
great.
Like the kids already know, like, oh, that's her. That's her shirt. Okay. So where did you first start training?
So I first started. So it's a little complicated. Hopefully you can keep up. First started training at EWF at the School of Hard Knocks in San Bernardino. I was there for about 2 to 3 months, and I was there not that often. I was there like once every 2 weeks, something. But I learned a little bit there, and then it was too far for me. It was too far from home, so I found Santino Brothers. I'm not sure if you're familiar with, of course. And I found Santino Brothers, and I started training there. I did one-on-one sessions with the trainers there because I really wanted to fast track, and I wanted to see how fast I can learn. And then eventually, picked up, joined the classes, and that's where I graduated from. So, not sure if you've been to some of the Santino Brothers shows.
No, not yet.
You
do want to go.
Yeah, you should definitely check those out. Those are definitely great. But that's where I got started. That's where I learned. That's where I graduated from. So.
Okay. So who was your first trainer?
My first trainer was actually Robbie Phoenix. So that's who I did the one-on-ones with at Santino Brothers. We trained 3 days a week, early in the morning. And then slowly but surely, Joey Chaos became my trainer as well. So both of those definitely have a hand in who I am today.
Okay, so how long have you been a pro wrestler?
11 months.
Oh, okay.
So next year is my anniversary. So
Yeah.
it's been 1 year since I started wrestling. So I'm excited.
Okay. Did you do? Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I know you did sports.
Yeah, that's okay.
Did you do anything like prior to wrestling?
So sports, obviously. So I did a lot of soccer growing up, and then I did a lot of gymnastics growing up as well. And then in high school, I did some track and field and stuff like that. So I was definitely always active. I liked to I was a wild kid. I was a crazy kid, and I was always running around, jumping around, and I needed something to do. So my mom definitely kept me in sports the entire time. But gymnastics is definitely my main background, which is where some of my flips come from. So yeah, that's what I did before wrestling.
Okay, so who was your first opponent?
It was actually my first trainer, Robbie Phoenix.
Oh.
Yeah, that was my first opponent. He was my debut match. It was something that I really enjoyed. It was, to come full circle from where I started to finally face him was really cool, and it was a great experience for me.
Okay, so what type of wrestler do you see yourself as? Like kind of like a luchador, American style, or like kind of like Japan style?
Okay, I see where you're going. I would say I'm definitely a hybrid of like the lucha, high flying, and American. And I hope one day to travel to Japan to learn more of that strong style, Japanese style. I just want to learn everything. I just want to make sure I learn everything. I didn't come from an amateur wrestling background, like high school collegiate wrestling. So I whenever I can, I practice that and make sure I'm well versed in that and understand that and have a little bit of everything, you know what I mean? But definitely for the most part, more of like a lucha American style, for sure.
Do you have a dream opponent?
A dream opponent. I do have a dream opponent. It would probably be, man, I want to face the Young Bucks because they're crazy. Either Ricochet or Osprey.
Oh yeah.
One of those two.
They're pretty crazy, high flying.
Yeah, that'd be. I think that would be really amazing. Maybe people in the WWE, believe it or not, I'd love to face John Cena. I think that'd be really cool. I think he's really great. So yeah.
Could you name some promotions that you have worked for?
Sure. So obviously Santino Brothers, EWF. I was at a couple. I've been at AWS once, I think. Yeah, been there once. We'll go back later at the end of this month. And then I've been to Future Stars of Wrestling in Vegas. I've done. I did an Evolve seminar in Florida in March, so that was pretty dope. I've actually been at Wrestle Circus. So I'm definitely hoping to go back soon. I think those are some of the notable ones that I can think of right now. And then Championship Wrestling from Hollywood. Sorry. Yeah.
How is the Wrestle Circus?
Oh man, it was great. It was great. So I don't know if you know, it's in Texas. It's in Austin, Texas. And Austin was beautiful. And they draw a great crowd. There was like at least 700 people there. And it was in a nice building. And just all the matches up and down were just great. They know how to really get a crowd going and really build, the highs and the lows of any match, and the card that I was on, you had people like Trent on there and Rocky Romero and Mike Elgin and Scorpio Sky. So it was a great, Rachel Ellering and Deonna Purrazzo, they were all there, and it was a really cool environment. I think if you ever made the trip down there, I think it's something that you would enjoy, you and your dad, and they put some really great shows. So.
I've always wanted to go.
Yeah.
It's kind of hard since it is in Texas.
Yeah.
We went to Texas, me and my dad, once, and it was for WrestleMania.
Okay. Yeah.
In Dallas.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe one day, right? Maybe.
Okay. Do you have any upcoming wrestling shows?
Yes. So Santino Brothers is holding a show this Friday, July 14th. I'm actually in a tournament. So we're having a tournament to crown a #1 contender for our heavyweight title. So I'm looking forward to try to climb up the ranks. I'm really, I've only been wrestling 11 months, and they're already giving me this opportunity to wrestle for a championship. So I'm going to take it. I'm going to do whatever I can to try to win, you know what I mean? So I've got that this Friday. It's going to be a great show. You should come out if you're not doing anything. And then we have the Latin American Museum of Art. Is holding an event this Saturday. And it's a Lucha Libre event. It's hosted by one of the photographers, David Espinoza. Not sure if you're familiar with him. And, it's going to feature wrestlers like Thunder Rosa, Taya Valkyrie, Los Luchas, Bestia 666, and I'm actually wrestling on the card too. And they're going to screen the documentary of Santino Brothers. Not sure if you've given that a watch. They're going to screen that. They're going to have a Q&A with all the cast members like myself, Douglas James, Joey. So it's going to be great. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's at the Latin American Museum of Art. I think everyone should definitely check that out because it just celebrates the culture that we have here in Southern California. It's like more lucha. We definitely hone more of lucha here. So I think it'll be great. And then, then I've got another show on Sunday. It'll be Lucha Wrestling Prowrestlers, LWP, in Panorama City. So that's where me and Lucas Riley will tag up, Aerial Instinct. So looking forward to that.
So I wish you the best of luck in Santino's.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. If you do get a chance to go, make sure you catch me there.
Trying to go because I'm actually going on vacation a day after.
Oh, really?
Yeah, to San Diego.
Oh, man.
Kind of like a tradition we go on my mom's side every year.
Okay.
So,
That sounds like a lot of fun.
I'm not sure.
All right, sounds good.
I know there's a lot of wrestling shows going on that day too.
Yes.
Yeah.
What?
I'm wanting to go
This
to
Friday
a
or
lot.
this Saturday?
The 14th.
Yes. Yeah, there are.
So many.
Yeah, I know EWF is probably holding something that day too, but
Yeah.
Santino Brothers is the place to be.
Yeah, totally.
All right.
One more thing.
Yeah, what's up?
Is there any way for people to follow you on any social media?
Of course. So I am on Instagram and Twitter. Very easy at I am Jake Atlas. You can also find me on Facebook, facebook.com/I am Jake Atlas, or just search Jake Atlas on the search bar. You can also find me on YouTube, my Jake Atlas channel. Keep up with all the matches that I've done. Give it a subscribe. And yeah, follow me, follow my journey, and yeah, thank you guys for the support.
Okay, think that's it. Thank you so much for being a guest on my podcast today.
No, thank you, Hannah. I had a lot of fun. It was great.
I had a lot of fun too. It was really good.
All right.